Good afternoon, everyone. So again, my name is Brittany. I'm with Scott LeRae Marketing. And today's class, we're going to be going over all of the team functions that teams will have access to within Command. So again, this is going to be for agents that are working with a recognized team within Keller Williams, and they'll have access to all of these platforms within Command due to the new team's rollout. So we're going to be breaking everything down. We're going to go over contacts, how to make sure opportunities are set up, marketing features that you guys have access to. The majority of today's class, I am going to be teaching it out of a Rainmaker's account. So in other words, I have unlimited access in this account. If you are not set up as the Rainmaker, some of these things will vary, and I'll notate that and mention that as I'm going through it, just so you guys do have a heads up on that as well. But in order to log in, I'm just going through agent.kw.com, and I'm going to be accessing the Command platform. So if you guys are following along, we're just going to log into Command. Once we are in the Command platform, the first thing I really want to go over with you guys is what you guys have access to, even just under the settings platform. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on our name in the top right-hand corner. And what you guys should then see is not only your name, but you also have an additional profile for a team. You may have already updated this to set your default profile to be the team. Completely fine. I'm just going to go over that right now and kind of show you guys where that is, how to set up that default profile, and to just kind of show you all of the editability that you guys have access to just through your settings platform. So again, once we've clicked on our name and you verified that you do have two profiles, if you're only showing one profile, it means that you're set up as a standalone agent, which just means you're probably not going to have access to anything that we go over during this class. So that's kind of a great way to check to see how you're set up as well. Once you guys have verified that you do have those two profiles, we're going to go ahead and click on settings. Once the settings page loads, on the left-hand side, you guys are going to see all of your additional settings that are going to be populating. We're going to go ahead and click on General Settings just to kind of go down this list and show you guys what teams have access to under here, because a lot of your team access, it's actually hiding right under these settings right here. So the first thing you guys are going to see once you click on General Settings is going to be Default Account. If you guys select default account, it's going to allow you to choose just that. It's going to allow you to actually decide which account will populate automatically when you log into Command. So if you are set up as a team and you're now functioning 100% out of that team profile rather than the one that's just your name, maybe you guys are only using your team profile, you can actually set this to have the team profile as your default profile. So you don't have to keep toggling back and forth. You'll still have access to your personal profile. It's more so just so you don't have to select the team profile every time you log in. You won't lose access to anything. Underneath that, we have team management. If we go ahead and click on that, you'll notice as of right now, all I can see is Connie's information. That's because I'm only under her personal profile. If you guys are seeing the same thing, you guys clicked on team management, you're only seeing your name, the next thing you would want to do is ensure that you are actually selecting the team profile. I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and then it will actually refresh for me. Again, I'm logged in as a Rainmaker, so I do kind of have Big Brother access. I have access to all of the standards, the background of the team, and all of the team permissions. So she is set up, again, as the Rainmaker, so she has unlimited access. But you'll see here, this breaks down not only everybody on the team, but it will also show their role. This is what's pulling from the team tool. This is what your office can actually update. And then you'll also see their permissions are populating as well. Permissions are something that were recently launched. This is relatively new for the team platform. So if you guys were either just set up as a team, or if you guys were previously set up and just haven't utilized that platform, the team's permissions are brand new. They actually rolled these out, I want to say it was the beginning of last month. But you'll notice here that you actually have access now to adjust these, which is great. So anybody who, again, is functioning as a team, if you guys have an administrator who maybe needs additional access to marketing, or they need to have similar access to how the Rainmaker is set up, you guys have a transaction coordinator, anything along those lines, you can actually adjust their permissions to show and give them access to what they're going to need access to. In order to actually break that down a little bit further, just so you guys can see exactly what they are, if you guys click on permissions, it's going to show you guys essentially a brief description of what each permission is. There are 3 set up currently. You have unlimited, enhanced, and standard. Standard is going to be the default for anybody added to your team other than a Rainmaker. So if you're set up as a Rainmaker, by default, you're unlimited. Any other title, whether it's an agent, an admin, whatever it may be, their default is going to be standard. So you can actually come in here and break this down a little bit more. And you also have the permissions breakdown, which is going to go over not only what each thing covers, but it actually gives you a chart that will show you exactly what that permission is going to give this person access to. My recommendation, when you have a second, you guys can come back in here and just kind of spot check this list and make sure that your agents, your administrators, again, if you guys have a transaction coordinator or a marketing person, I would just spot check this and make sure that that person has access to everything they need access to in order to complete the tasks that you need done by them. So this is just a great tool to just kind of spot check, make sure that you understand what they're going to have access to. If you don't understand it, or if you guys have questions, by all means, just let us know. But this is a great tool, just again, so you guys can see it in writing, on paper, break it down, who's going to have access to what. Once you guys have had a chance to go over that, again, in order to update this, all you would do is just select the drop-down list, and you'll just select whichever bracket you need them to be under. Thankfully, that's pretty straightforward. As far as adding somebody to the team, if you guys are in a situation where maybe you have a third-party admin coming on, somebody who's maybe going to be working virtually, whatever it may be, you can actually add them manually to your account, which is great. Again, I'm under settings right now, general settings, team management, and then it should bring you right to this page as long as you are set up under the team profile. So again, I'm under my team profile and you guys should see everybody. This is, again, based on my permissions. So I have set up with unlimited right now. If you guys are set up as like a listing agent, buyer's agent, you guys have standard permissions, you won't see everybody's permissions here. That's completely fine. Again, if you are set up as the Rainmaker and you're trying to add an administrator to the account, you can go ahead and click on Add Member. And we do have a specific tip video that goes way more in depth with this as well. I just want to show you guys where this is so you can locate it later. But if we go ahead and click on Add Member, you're going to get this pop-up where you can then select either Add Member to Team or Add Guest User. You would be clicking Add Guest User. And this actually allows you to then add their information. Pretty straightforward, first name, last name, email address. This is going to be whatever email address they really want all of their business coming to. So you do want to make sure that that's correct. Then you have passwords. You're going to just type that in. I agree with the terms and conditions, and then send request. What this is going to do is it's actually going to notify your Market Center administrator, so that's your Market Center staff, that you guys are adding a third-party administrator to your account. They'll essentially just check off on it, and then your admin will get their login information emailed right to this email address directly. It's going to verify their username and as well as their password. If you guys have already set up an admin on here, you should be able to locate them on this page, which again is great. You'll notice here, we do have an admin set up. However, she was actually set up by the office. So the office can also add somebody to your account. But if you have, again, a virtual admin, where we're seeing a lot of that now, especially with everything going on, or you guys just have somebody who is maybe helping with some marketing and you just want them to have limited access to command, that way they can log in as themselves and you don't have to hand out your login information, that's how you would do it. You would add them as a guest to your team. You can remove them at any point in time. So if you have somebody who's maybe helping for a month and then after that you need it to be removed, you would just come in here, click on these 3 little dots and request removal. If it's a guest, it will actually allow you to remove them instantly, where all of these other agents and staff were added by the office, you have to request removal, and that will notify your market center administrator. So just you guys can kind of see where you guys have access to all of your teammates. Again, you can see their role. This is a great way to also check if you guys have somebody new that maybe the office just added, if anything is coming up wonky for them, if they don't have the correct access, anything along those lines. This is where you guys can check it. So this is where you guys can kind of double check everything, make sure it's set up correctly, and again, just confirm their role. The next section of settings, we're going to go ahead and click on command settings. And underneath that, I'm just going to expand on contacts. Once I do that, for the Rainmaker, they actually now have access. I'm going to click on lead sources. For the Rainmaker, they now have access to actually create custom lead sources for you guys. Oh, and it's not letting me click it. There we go. I'm just going to give it a second to load. But once I click on lead sources, which again is nestled right underneath contacts, Rainmakers have access to give you guys access to lead sources now. So these are actually lead sources that are set up again under the team profile. And if you toggle back to your personal one, they will change. So you do want to make sure that when you're editing them, that you're making the correct edits under the team profile. But they have access to, again, set up blanket lead sources for you guys. So maybe if you guys are using a third-party lead generation platform, they can plug that in here, even something as simple as like Zillow, Realtor.com, whatever it may be. And then the entire team would have access to those lead sources. So again, this is just another way for them to actually help you guys keep your database organized. It's essentially only something that the Rainmaker as of right now has access to edit and add. So don't panic, but they would have access to, again, add custom lead sources for the team. You'll have access to add custom lead sources for yourself, but for the team, only the Rainmaker has access to actually add those in as of right now. We're hopeful that will change at some point. Underneath that, I'm going to click on, actually, I skipped over contact tags. I'm going to click one above and click on contact tags. Anybody who is recently been set up as a team, or if again, you guys have been set up as a team and you're just now diving into the platform, you may have had a chance to dabble with your imports, getting contacts added into command, playing around with tags. It's essentially a way for you guys to label your contacts accordingly. They are filterable, they're a great tool, and you guys now have access to not only use them within your personal command platform, but your Rainmaker can also come in here and create team tags. Team tags, again, can only be created and customized by the Rainmaker as of right now. We are, again, hopeful that that will change soon. We've been told or seen within the KW articles that unlimited access will at some point have access to adjust the tags. As of right now, we've only seen them editable and addable by the Rainmaker. But you'll see here, they have access, they can come in here, create a tag. And what this does is if you guys have, say, 5 agents on your team and you have agents that are maybe adding contacts into that team database, they now have access to utilize these team tags, which is great. It's just, again, another way to keep your database organized. You will not lose access to your personal tags, so don't panic. If you guys already have your contacts added to your database, you guys will not lose access to anything. However, by adding a team tag, you'll have access to actually add that team tag to your team database. So just so you guys kind of have a breakdown. And again, we have articles and a full breakdown of notes that go over all of this way more in depth as well. But again, Rainmakers, if you guys are trying to add team tags under settings, you guys have access to add those in. If you guys are trying to locate your personal tags, if you guys toggle back to your personal profile, they're all still populating there. So you guys don't lose them at all. Go back into here. And then the last thing under the contact section is going to be lead routing. If Rainmakers have not yet set up lead routing, that is completely fine. This is a great tool that was recently launched, which will do exactly what it sounds like. It's just going to help you guys route your collected leads through the team account automatically. So that way leads aren't going days without being contacted. It allows you guys to delegate those out accordingly. Again, if you guys have not yet set these up yet, I'm just going to go ahead and click on create route just so you guys can see the information you can add. And once I click on that, you guys can give this a route title. It's going to allow you to select a routing rule. I have all of these typed out with a description, but if you guys ever question it, when you click on the drop-down list and hover over the I, it will break down exactly what that rule is going to do. So random, it offers leads to be randomly assigned to agents. Weighted random allows percent chance weight. It will break everything down for you in regards to how you want these to be delegated out. Now, granted, if you only have one agent on your team, or you're a husband and wife team, or whatever it may be, the lead routing platform may not be something that you use. So again, don't feel like you have to set these up, but it's great for teams who are running Facebook ads, or they're running any sort of ad through the Rainmaker's account. All of those leads that are being captured would essentially allow the Rainmaker to then delegate those out to the agents on the team. And this is just a great way to take that stress off of the Rainmaker, and this will happen automatically for you guys. So once you guys have given it a title and you select your routing rule, you can then set it by day. So maybe you guys only want to set it on Fridays or Wednesdays, whatever it may be. You can also set it by times. So if you guys do custom, it will only pull leads from like 8 a.m. until 5 p.m., whatever it may be. And then you guys can also do the claim action deadline. So you guys can actually set a deadline for when this lead has to be accepted by that agent before it goes back into the lead pool and gets rerouted again to another agent. So you guys do have access to essentially finagle that however you see fit. My recommendation, if you guys are going to be setting up lead routing, do make sure that you guys are setting it up in a way that it's going out not only to your agents, but for example, if you maybe have agents that are not consistently logging into command, make sure that you have that conversation with them before you start routing leads over to them. That way they can capture them within that deadline. Once you guys would go ahead and set that up, and again, we actually have tips on how to get this completely set through. When you click on next, it will actually allow you to select lead sources. So for example, if you only want to send maybe Facebook ads to one agent, you want to send mobile app leads to another agent, whatever it may be, you can actually delegate that out. And the last one is to set up which agents you want to be getting lead routing. You may have somebody set up as an agent in your account. Maybe they're an admin or they're a marketing person. They don't actually handle leads. You would want to make sure that you're not routing leads to them. So definitely make sure once you guys get to the agent section that you are selecting agents that are practicing real estate, because you don't want to be accidentally sending leads over to somebody who either isn't licensed or they just really don't handle leads. I'm going to cancel out this. And then I'm going to go over where these leads actually sit. If for some reason, if by chance you guys have a lead that goes through the lead routing, it's not accepted, or the agent doesn't accept it within that due date, and you want to manually assign it to somebody else, I'll show you guys where those leads go. That way you'll know where to actually locate them as well. The next section right underneath lead routing is opportunity settings. And underneath opportunity settings, you guys are going to see an option for team permissions. Again, I'm in a Rainmaker's account, so if you guys don't see this, don't panic, but I just want to show you guys where everything is. Once I click on team permissions, it's going to actually show me who has access to create opportunities under command as of right now. This is something that seems to be going away because we have seen teams not having adequate access to this tab. For example, when they go to click on something, it's not actually saving anymore. So if you are in a situation where you're trying to adjust this and it's not sticking, we recommend just contacting Keller Williams International via the chat. They should be able to manually update this for you. It seems as though they're taking it offline because we have noticed that teams that were selecting no, it essentially just means that your teammates would not have access to create an opportunity that is not under the team name. Unfortunately, that wasn't what we noticed was happening. It was actually blocking agents from creating opportunities at all, whether they were under the team or personal. It was blocking them from actually being able to create those opportunities. Since then, we've noticed that Keller Williams International seems to be kind of taking this down, especially where the team permissions, once you guys have a chance to kind of go over all of those, it does break down opportunities as well. So it seems like opportunities are now being more covered under that team permissions rather than this separate section. But if you guys do have this set up, if you guys have it so that, for example, right now, only Leah and Leisha are able to create opportunities outside of the team, the rest of these agents can only create opportunities under the team. That's all this is telling them. But if you do have an agent that is having some trouble with creating an opportunity, period, they're unable to create it, whether it's under the team or a personal account, my first recommendation would be to check this section because we do get that question a lot. Underneath that, we have smart plans. And once you guys click on smart plans, the only option should be designated agents. And once we click on this, again, if you guys haven't had a chance to dabble with what you guys have access to within Teams, with the new team update, Teams were actually given an additional tab for smart plans. So if you're a standalone agent, you have your original smart plans that you may have created. Maybe you just launched the ones that Keller Williams gave you, whatever it may be. You may have noticed now when you go to that smart plans tab, you actually can toggle between your profiles. So just like I'm on my team profile right now, all of your personal smart plans that you previously set up will be under your personal profile. Going forward, if you are planning on working out of the team platform, or if you guys are in a situation where maybe you have half your contacts that you're still nurturing under your personal, contacts that are already, you know, under contract, they have opportunities, those would be under your team account. It actually allows you to set up completely different smart plans. So it gives you two separate tabs for your smart plans now. What we're looking at right now are the designated agents for those team smart plans. So obviously, if you're setting up a smart plan under your personal account, you are the agent 100% on all of those contacts. So when you set up a task or an email or the SMS or whatever it may be from that smart plan, you are the agent that it is funneling through. It's going to come from your email address. The task is going to automatically be assigned to you. The SMS or the text message is automatically going to come off of your Twilio. So that's how the personal ones work. With the team ones, the Rainmaker does have access to come in here and actually tweak this. So as of right now, tasks are set up as the contact assignee, meaning that as tasks are essentially set up on that smart plan, it's going to notify whoever is assigned to that contact. Email, they have it set up as Rainmaker, meaning all of the emails that are sent out from the team smart plans are going to come from the Rainmaker's email, and it's going to use their command mail account. So in other words, all of the credits that they have available on command mail, it's going to funnel through their entire account. For the SMS, they have it set up the same way. It's set up as Rainmaker, meaning that all of the text messages that come from a team smart plan for this team, it's going to come from the Rainmaker's Twilio number, and it's going to use the Rainmaker's Twilio credits. If you guys are looking to always have this set up as contact assignee, you would come right back in here, save that, and then just save changes. And that will allow you to actually update that, which would essentially mean, though you have team smart plan set up under that team profile, when an agent on the team utilizes one of those smart plans, it's really going to show up as it's all them. So that's another question that we do get frequently, how to make sure that the marketing is still showing from the agent and not just from the team. This is how you would do that. So if you guys do need to tweak that, make sure that you guys are clicking save changes. I don't want to save this on her, so I'm going to move this back and then I'll save it. And then once you guys save it, you guys should get that green ribbon, just letting you know it was saved successfully. Underneath that, I'm going to jump into my Connect settings, and we're just going to touch upon the marketing profile really quick. Most of you probably already have this set up. I just want to show you guys how to manipulate it for a team. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on marketing profile. The first thing you guys are going to see are the two images. So to start, we have the headshot and then we have the team logo. Headshot, you'll notice that she does have both of their pictures here. That's because most of their marketing is done by both of these women. They're actually both set up as Rainmakers on the team. I don't know if you guys noticed earlier when we went over permissions, but where they're both set up as Rainmakers, they do primarily most of their marketing out of Connie's account. So they have a headshot with both of them. You do not have to have it set up like that if you guys are going to be primarily marketing out of your own command account. However, functioning as a team, your individual headshot can go here. If you're a spouse team or like you're working with one other person and you really want to be working out of one command, by all means, you can use a picture with the both of you. And again, underneath that, we have our team logo. It looks very wonky right here, but it does actually populate correctly on all platforms. So again, if you guys have a team logo and it's not cropped to be a square, don't panic. Once you guys import it, it does look funny right here, but on all of your marketing, your website, your mobile app, smart plans, your email campaigns, all of those platforms are actually smart enough to populate with this logo correctly. So they will show up properly. For the headshot, you do want to make sure that's cropped to be a square. If you have not cropped that to be a square before adding it, you will notice that it tends to smush it to fit into that circle. That is how it will populate on all of your marketing. So first image, crop that to be a square. Second image, you guys are golden. As long as it's added, you should be good to go. Underneath that, we have our basic information. And again, I just want to show you guys how to manipulate this if you are in a situation where you want both of your names to be on everything. We have it set up as first name, we just have Connie's full name. Last name, we have the Ansand and then Leisha Maxwell. This will actually allow all of their platforms to show up with both of their names. From their mobile app to their website, everything is going to have both of those names on them. That is something to consider, because if you are going to be using some of your own platforms, you will want to make sure that you essentially have it set up accordingly. If you guys question what platforms are going to pull from here, let us know and we can always spot check everything. But really anything from the command platform. So again, smart plans, campaigns, your mobile app, your website, all of those platforms are going to feed directly from the page that we're working on right now. So this information is going everywhere. So make sure that things are spelled correctly, that if you do only want your name on something, make sure it's set up as such. You do want to make sure that obviously your team name's added as well. Agent license number. She obviously only has, she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you would want to make sure that your agent license number is added here, especially if you're with multiple states. If you are practicing real estate in multiple states, this is a great place to notate that. So for example, if you are practicing in Florida and Massachusetts, you can just put FL, and I'll change this on her later, and then do either the and sign. Nice and simple. And what this will do is it's not only going to populate as such on your mobile app, but it's also going to populate like that on all of your platforms. So again, this is going to be captured by smart plans, your website, everything. Underneath that, we have your professional job title and designations. One thing I will say for the professional job title, make sure that you are using the compliant verbiage. So if you are with a state or a brokerage that does require you to have something specific, for example, like the state of New York, I believe they have to have licensed real estate agent, not realtor with the registered R. Just make sure that whatever is put here is compliant for your location. Designations, any designations that you've obtained over the years, those can be added in there as well. Underneath that, we have bio. You'll notice here that the line breaks are already added. However you want your bio to populate on all platforms, make sure that you have that added here as such. So if you have line breaks that you want to be recognized, make sure they're populating here, and that will actually syndicate out to all of those platforms for you. Underneath that, we have contact information. You'll see for phone numbers, we do have both Connie and Leisha's phone number. This is something that we can add, again, to the marketing profile. It will automatically populate on the website with both of their phone numbers. However, depending on how intricate you plan on making your website, if you start adding custom pages, there is 100% chance that the platform is going to ask you to remove the special characters, meaning all of the custom pages that you add to the command website will only allow a 10-digit phone number. It will not allow any other text or any additional phone numbers. So this is something that you can certainly add for your marketing platforms, because it will still populate on your smart plans, it will populate on your emails, and it will populate on the actual standard website which I'll go over where everything will sync to as well. But just so you guys know, it may have you remove the additional phone number when you start creating custom pages. So don't panic. You didn't do anything wrong. It's just how that layout is set up as of right now. Office phone number, if your office does not require you to put their phone number on everything, you can repeat your mobile number. And then for email and website, email, this is going to be whatever email you guys are using on your marketing. It does not have to be the Keller Williams email. But if you guys are using the KW email for your marketing, make sure that's what's populating here. For your website, you do want to make sure that this is hyperlinked. So this would be, I think this one's HTTP. So you want to make sure either HTTP or HTTPS is before the website. If you guys are using a custom domain, for example, they are not using the Keller Williams domain, it's a custom domain. If you guys are unsure which one it is, HTTP or HTTPS, you guys can actually copy and paste this into another tab and then copy and paste the exact URL, because you'll see even on my one right now, it tells me it's HTTPS. And then you guys would just want to make sure you copy and paste that in as such. What that does is it makes your website clickable. So it's going to take a little bit of the additional work off of your client. If somebody goes to your mobile app or they come across your website on your agent profile, if they're on the office website, whatever it may be, this allows your clients to just click on your website and it will open that up for them rather than them having to copy and paste it into another browser. So it just makes it a little bit easier for them to access your website. Underneath that, we have the market center and brokerage information, starting with the brokerage logo. If you guys don't have a brokerage logo that's specific to your market center, completely fine. You guys can add the regular Keller Williams logo right into this section. It's essentially just a way for you guys to have that on all of your marketing. Right-hand side is your brokerage information, starting with your DBA. And then you have the phone number again. If you guys are not mandatory, if you guys don't have to put the brokerage phone number, again, you guys can repeat your mobile number. Underneath that, you'll see you have the full street address, followed by the city, state, zip. And then if you guys have your brokerage license number, you can plug that in. If not, it's not mandatory, so don't worry. But if you happen to have that on file, you can plug that in right there. Underneath that, we have our compliance information. Starting with the compliance footer text, if you guys are with a market center that has specific text or verbiage that needs to be added to all of your marketing, this is where you guys can actually paste that in. So again, this is going to go everywhere for you. You won't have to worry about manually updating anything in the future, which is great. Most offices will have each Keller Williams office is independently owned and or operated. That seems to be the general footer text that we see. Underneath that, we have the legal footer links. If you guys are with a location that requires you guys to have a PDF added to any of your marketing, this will actually allow you to add the URL for the PDF or the document, and then the text that you want it to show up as. So again, if you guys are with a state, Texas, they require the IABS links to be added. This is where we would do that. But if you guys have an additional link or additional file that you guys wanted to add, this is how you can also add that. And again, it will show up on the footers of everything. Underneath that, we have the legal footer images. These are going to show up very, very tiny. However, if you are with a state that requires certain logos or anything to be added to your website, this is where you would do it. You would need to have the logo already saved on your computer in order to add this in. But once you click on upload, it will allow you to locate that file and then it will add it here accordingly. As of right now, I think the only state that would utilize this is the state of Maine. I know you guys need to have your equal housing opportunity and the Maine IDX, your board, MLS board, their logo has to be added to everything. But if you guys are with another state, or if you guys just obtained a designation that you want to promote, you can also add that in here. Underneath that, we have social. This is something that I definitely want to go over really quick. If you guys, again, first of all, are working on a team, chances are you probably have team profiles for these platforms. So you may want to make sure that you're adding those. You'll notice here that they do have all of their team profiles populating. But one thing I do want to mention, make sure that you're adding profiles that are real estate specific. So if you guys have not yet set up a business page for Facebook, or you haven't set up a real estate specific Twitter or Instagram, don't worry, you can add those in later, but I would not recommend adding your personal profiles, only because, again, this is going to be essentially marketed everywhere. It's going to show up on your website. They're going to be clickable from your mobile app. These are going to populate everywhere. So you do want to make sure that they are essentially the professional pages, the business pages that are being added to these platforms. Last thing you'll notice is these are also hyperlinked. So all you would need to do, if you guys are unsure what the profile URLs are, if you guys actually go to another page later on today, open up a new tab and just pull up your team profiles or your real estate profiles, whichever ones you guys want to market, just go ahead and you guys can actually copy that and paste it in accordingly. You'll want to grab the entire URL, and that will make it, again, clickable for your client, takes a little bit of the stress off of them. So when they go to your website, your mobile app, they'll be able to click on the icon and it will just bring them to that page for them. Underneath that, we have the Facebook Pixel and Ads and Google Analytics. So Facebook Pixels, that's actually going to allow you to track the traffic for your Facebook ads. Google Analytics is going to assist with tracking the traffic of your website. If you guys have not yet set these up, don't worry. They are essentially something that I added to the team notes. So if you guys are attending class and already dropped your email in there, I'll get the notes over to you guys after class. If you guys are watching the recording, I'll make sure that the notes are hyperlinked right in the bio of this class, and it will break down how to actually set up both of these. And then last but not least, the branded KW app link, you do want to make sure that that is added there. If you guys are seeing a link that does not start with app.kw.com, chances are that is your, it's the placeholder app. So you do want to make sure that it starts with the https://app.kw.com, and then it should be / a code. So in other words, this is her specific code for her mobile app. If you guys are not seeing that there, let us know and we can make sure that that's pulling properly for you. If you guys made any changes, we're just going to go ahead and click on save. If you guys did make changes, you should get a little pop-up just saying, are you sure you want to make these changes? And then it will just have you accept it and you should be all set. Once you guys have done that, the last thing I just want to mention on this page is going to be the use my information to brand my agent site. If this is not populating as gray, you want to make sure that you are not populating as green. You want to make sure that you click it so it populates exactly like this. So again, if you guys are seeing this and it's completely gray, just click it and a compliance notice will pop up, just letting you know everything needs to be compliant in order for you to share the information. Once you accept it, it will toggle this over to being green. What this is doing, think of this as the green light to share all of the information that we just added to this page to your command platforms. So it's not going anywhere else, but it is going to actually brand all of those platforms, your smart plans, your emails, everything. It's all going to pull from here. Once you guys have made sure that that's populating as green, we are going to go ahead and click on, oh, they actually moved it. We are going to go ahead and actually dive into contacts. So I want to show you guys how the new contacts work within the team platform because they are completely different now. So again, I'm just going to go ahead and click on my contacts tab. And it's the second one down. Because I know we just got a question. So their team is having problems with everyone on their team can't see opportunities created and can't tag them. Yes, that's actually something that came with the update. So I'm going to go over how to actually make sure not only that your teams have access to their contacts, but that they know how to navigate their contacts within the platform, also how to set up opportunities. So we're going to kind of just dive into this right now. Once you guys have clicked on contacts, you'll see that I'm still in my team database. You still have your two profiles. So you have your personal profile and your team profile. If you guys are in a situation where you need to create an opportunity and it needs to go under the team, in order for you to have access to create that opportunity, the contact needs to be added to the team profile. You no longer have access to create an opportunity if the contact remains under your personal profile. So that is something that we've been seeing a lot of. If you guys have all of your contacts in your personal database right now and you guys want to move those over to the team, you can do that up to 500 a time. However, word of advice, make sure that you are tagging your personal contacts with either your name or some sort of tag. That way you can find them later. Because unfortunately, when you do move contacts from a personal database, and I'll go into that, when I move contacts from my personal database, these tags are not going to go away, but they're going to populate as legacy tags, meaning that they're not filterable, so I won't be able to search by them. I also won't have a way to undo that unless I'm the Rainmaker. So if I am an agent on a team or an admin on a team or anybody outside of the Rainmaker, and I go ahead and I move these 4 contacts from my personal database over to my team database, I can't undo that. So just keep that in mind when you're moving mass contacts over. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to mass tag these really quick. So for example, if you guys maybe have 20 contacts in your personal account and you want to move those over, by all means, go for it. All you would need to do is I'm just selecting all. And you'll notice here now, this is again another update. You guys used to only have 10, 25, and 50 allowed to select. Now you have 100 and 500. So for people with those larger databases, you don't have to sit here and move 50 a time. You can move up to 500 a time now, which is just it's gonna save you guys a little bit of time in the long run. But if I select, say, up to 500, I only have 4, I would go ahead and just select my contacts. Then I can go ahead and I can do select bulk action. You need to scroll down all the way and you'll see change account. You guys don't have to actually go through this process. I just want to show you guys how to do it. But again, if you guys haven't had a chance to confirm whether or not this is something you guys want to do, no rush. Again, this is recorded. If you guys are watching the recording, you're more than welcome to finish watching this and kind of, if you guys have any questions, let us know beforehand, because again, this cannot be undone unless you are the Rainmaker. So once I go ahead and click on change account, I'm going to get this pop-up and it's going to say who owns this account. It's just going to allow me to select the team name. If you are in a unique situation and you're actually associated with more than one team, you'll want to make sure that you're selecting the correct team profile. So for example, if you're with like an expansion team, maybe there's a couple of variations, make sure you're selecting the correct profile before you start mass moving contacts over. Once you have that team profile selected, I'm just going to go ahead and click change. And then you'll see here, it looks like 2 of them were moved over and 2 of them stayed. So what that means is if you guys are moving contacts over and only a couple of them move over, what we've noticed is it's actually due to duplicates. So in other words, chances are she already has these 2 people in her database or in the team database, and that's why it's not allowing them to move over. So in other words, if you guys have John Smith on your team and John Smith adds Scott Leroy to the team database, you cannot turn around and add Scott Leroy to the team database because they have the same pieces of contact information. So command will see it as a duplicate. I'm hoping that makes sense. And if you guys have questions on this, or if you guys have a unique situation, let us know. And we can always take a look at your account specifically, because I'm going over as much of the possibilities as I can, but I know that there are still going to be some unique circumstances. If you guys see anything that just looks wonky, something just isn't working properly when you're moving contacts, let us know and we can take a look. As of right now, we are not moving contacts for agents because we want to make sure that they are 100% positive they want to be doing it. So that's something that is on the agent as of right now, but we do have tip videos that go over how to move those over. And again, we're also always happy to just check them out and make sure that they are being moved properly as well. But once I've gone ahead, those are already just moved over. Now all I would do is I'm just going to select my team account. And now you'll see here, the contacts that I just moved over are populating here. The only thing that you'll see though is my tags are no longer populating. So all those tags that I previously had. What I would want to do in order to update this is if I want to see those tags that were previously on my personal account, I can add legacy tags to my view essentially. In order to do that, I would just go ahead and click on Customize Columns. And again, I'm just on my team profile under Contacts. And I click on Customize Columns. And then I'm just going to scroll down until I see legacy tags, which are already selected. It just looks like they're on the tail end. Once you guys make sure legacy tags has a check mark, it's going to automatically dump it all the way down on the bottom. And we're just going to drag it up and put it right next to tags, just so it's easier to see. And once we've done that, we'll click on Apply. And now our legacy tags populate. So these are the tags that were essentially set up on our personal profile and then moved over. So now you have access to actually see them here. Unfortunately, as of right now, legacy tags are not filterable under a team account. So in other words, if you guys move your personal contacts over to the team account, you'll be able to see the tags. You'll be able to see your contact profiles. You will also remain the owner. That has been a very common question that we're getting. Don't panic. It does not change the ownership of these contacts. They will remain your contacts. You will also remain the assignee. The only contacts that will have the team as the actual owner are going to be contacts that were either captured by the team or contacts that the Rainmaker has obtained and can manually update the owner. So in other words, I'm set up as the Rainmaker, which is why you're seeing a couple of these have the actual team name as the owner. At the end of the day, the team name and the Rainmaker, it's actually the same person. So when it says the owner is Yates and Maxwell Properties, the owner is still Connie Yates because she's the Rainmaker of Yates and Maxwell Properties. Because I know we get that question a lot. But if you are an agent on the team and you are moving contacts from your personal database over to the team database, the owner will remain you, the assignee will remain you, and I'll actually show you guys what it looks like. You'll see here, the account, it shows you where it came from and the assignee, just in case you guys ever question that. But you are not losing access to your contacts by moving them over to the team database. You're essentially just sharing them with your teammates. So the way that contact views work as of right now, just so you guys can kind of understand the background of that. Team permissions, my recommendation, definitely go over those because it's going to go way more in depth. But as far as who can see contacts, as of right now, if you are set up as an agent, you have standard permissions. If you go ahead and I share, my 20 contacts as an agent with the team profile, I'm going to have access to see them and the Rainmaker is going to have access to see them. No other teammates are going to have access to see them unless they're set up as unlimited status. Standard status is not going to give them any access, and enhanced, we've noticed it's not going to give them any access. Again, the team permissions will kind of go over exactly what people will have access to. So I recommend spot checking that. But just you guys kind of understand you're not losing access to the ownership of the contacts. You'll still have access to locate them under your team profile. If you were to ever leave the team, these contacts would be dumped back into your personal profile. So you're not going to lose access to them at all. Because again, that is a question that we are getting a lot of. For the Rainmaker, if you guys, again, are set up as the Rainmaker, and I had mentioned earlier, lead routing, when leads are not captured or essentially not accepted by the person they're being routed to, they're going to show up under lead pool. Even if you're not set up as the Rainmaker, you will still have access to see the leads that are being captured here. However, you should only be seeing the ones that you have essentially either been sent or the ones that you may have been assigned to. Any leads that are sitting in lead pool without an assignee, for example, this one does not have an assignee, these can actually then be assigned out by the Rainmaker manually. So my recommendation, if you guys are on a team and you guys are running ads, you guys are capturing leads on that Rainmaker's account, make sure that you are coming in here and you are checking lead pool on a regular basis, because you can obtain leads in this section. And sometimes your notification should be going off telling you that you captured a lead. But a lot of times what's happening is if you're seeing that notification letting you know a lead was captured, people are assuming it's going to show up in their database. And that's not the case. If you're running an ad on behalf of the team, it's going to show up in lead pool. That way you can assign that lead out. And then as always, if you guys have questions on the lead routing and lead pool, let us know. But just make sure that you guys are checking on these. And if you do want to go ahead and assign these out, you do have access just by clicking on the 3 dots all the way over to the right. you'll notice that you can then assign to, and then you can send it to whichever agent you'd like on your team. That's pretty much it for contacts. I wanted to go over, there's a couple of other things for moving contacts. So I'm sure, and again, this is a question that we've been getting regularly for teams. However, it's not team specific. Go back to regular contacts. Once we come in here, and I'm just looking at my contacts, you guys now have access to make a copy and share contacts. So if I just select a contact profile and I scroll all the way over to the right, you guys will see that you now have access to click make a copy and share. This is not a team specific action. This is actually something that every single agent that has access to command will have access to. It's a fantastic tool, but I just want to make sure you guys understand that it's not a team tool and it's something that you cannot undo. So when you click on make a copy and share, what it allows you guys to do, oh, it's not going to allow me to share a shared contact. Let me go back to my personal one really quick. So once you guys click on, oh, let me pull this up. Once you guys click on make a copy and share, what it's going to do is it will pull up a pop-up where you guys can select either your office, your team, or your referrals network, which is pretty cool. This is literally going to allow you guys to select somebody from your office, from your team, from your network, whatever it may be, and you can actually give them a copy of this contact profile. That being said, think of it as somebody asking you for someone's phone number and you're giving them their name, their basic contact information. That's it. That's all that's going to do. It's not going to give them a copy of your notes. It's not going to give them a copy of anything that you've added to that profile. So again, notes, opportunities, smart plans, they're not going to be able to see any of that. It's just going to grab that basic information and give them their own contact profile and their own command with that basic information. So if you guys do share this, again, it's not something you can undo. It's not something that's team specific. So you guys can do this with literally anybody, anybody within your office, referral network, or team, but it's going to give them a copy of this contact. So just keep that in mind, because we have had some teams, unfortunately, doing that at like 500 a time, and it's literally giving these people a copy of their database. So just keep that in mind. In regards to the share contact that you guys used to have access to as a team, that's actually what that team profile is now. So when you guys are sharing these contacts to the team profile, this is the equivalent of essentially sharing a contact with a team member. All you would need to do is you can come in here, and I'm going to show you guys one last thing. I can come in here and I can open up a contact. From here, you'll see that we now have access for collaborators. That's actually going to allow you to give access to a specific agent. So maybe you have a brand new buyer's agent that joined your team and you have somebody who's kind of assisting them with this transaction. They can actually be added to this contact profile by clicking on this little pencil. And you'll have access to actually select anybody on your team as a collaborator. You can do more than one as well, which is kind of cool. But you have access to then add those people on here. And what will happen is when that person, so for example, I just added Leisha on here. When Leisha logs in and clicks on her team profile under contacts, she'll now have access to Brittanie team test. So it gives her access to this contact profile. So this is just a great tool to kind of understand where it is, what it does. That way you guys have access to it and can use it accordingly. But you can still share contacts. It's just a little bit different now. You would have to do it manually and add it as a collaborator. The next section I want to touch upon is going to be smart plans. I just want to show you guys where smart plans are and how they've changed a little bit. And then after that, we're going to go over opportunities, and then I'll address any questions that came in. I know a couple came in that I have not kept up with. I apologize, but I'll get those answered as well. So to start, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on Smart Plans, which is the fourth icon down. Once you guys are in here, again, if you guys are still under your team account, you guys should be seeing some of your smart plans. Maybe you guys have already gone in here and added some. Those should be populating here. If you guys have personal smart plans and you're not seeing them, again, don't panic. If you actually toggle back to your personal profile, all of those personal smart plans will populate for you. One thing I do want to mention, because again, this is something we do get a lot of questions on. If you are mass moving your personal contacts over to the team profile, your contacts are going to be removed from your personal smart plans. So in other words, if you've created custom smart plans on your personal account, they are going to be removed from those smart plans. The Rainmaker can go in and create team smart plans. So if I go into the team profile, you'll see here, they have access to create a team smart plan. However, it is not something that all of the agents will have access to do. So if you guys have agents that are using these team smart plans or looking to use these team smart plans, that is something that needs to be set up using the Rainmaker's account. And unfortunately, as of right now, what we've seen is custom smart plans cannot just be moved over. They would have to be recreated. But this is something that you guys can do under the Rainmaker's login. In regards to the create a team smart plan, we did go over earlier the smart plan, the designated agents. However, you can manipulate that when you're creating a team smart plan. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull this up just so you guys can see what it looks like. So when I click on create team smart plan, I'm just going to put team class just so you guys can see what this looks like. So I have my name, and then on the right-hand side, these are essentially all of the things that you guys can utilize in a smart plan. You have create a task, make a call, send an email, SMS text, set delay, add to a different smart plan, or restart the same smart plan. These are all actions that you guys can add right into the smart plan. So this is if you guys are creating a completely custom one. I just want to show you guys what it looks like when you guys use these platforms so you can see how you can actually assign them out. So if I do create a task, as of right now, the way that Connie has this set up, Connie being the Rainmaker, the way she has this set up is it's set up with the contact assignee. I don't have access to edit that. It's showing you right here, this is who it's going to be assigned to. So in other words, whoever the contact assignee is on that contact profile, when it's added to a smart plan, the contact assignee is going to be the one that gets all of those alerts, gets that task notification, is reminded to call this person, whatever it may be. For the SMS text, same thing. You'll see here, it's letting you know the default is set up as the Rainmaker. I can uncheck it and change it if I want. But again, this is something only the Rainmaker has access to. Agents, unfortunately, cannot edit this. So if this is set up as the Rainmaker, as an agent, you would want to make sure that you understand that before adding contacts to this platform. Because again, what that means is if it's set as Rainmaker, it's not only going to be using the Rainmaker's Twilio account, which she does not have Twilio set up yet, but it's also going to use the Rainmaker's command mail, meaning that it's going to come from their email. And if they reply, it's going to go to that Rainmaker. So this is something before starting to add contacts to a team smart plan. Make sure you take a look at it and just view how each task is going to be delegated out. If you see contact assignee, it's going to come back to you. If you see Rainmaker, it means it's going to be done under the Rainmaker. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to X out of this. You guys do also have access to a library of smart plans, which is great. So if you guys have not yet dabbled with this, on the top of smart plans, and this is for personal or team, you guys have access to this no matter what profile you're under. If you guys click on library, you guys are going to see the KW ones, which there should be 10, and you guys can toggle over and see all of the ones that are available. But you also have top rated and what's new. These are actually smart plans that have been created by your peers, by other agents in other offices, by staff members, anybody within the Keller Williams umbrella that has access to command. They actually have access to share custom smart plans with you, and you have access to then come in here. You can add a smart plan to your smart plans and tweak them accordingly. They're all editable, but this is a great tool. For example, if you guys maybe are looking for like a Facebook follow-up, you guys can come in here and type in just that. And it will pull up smart plans that other people have created that are for Facebook follow-up. So if you guys are in a situation where you do want to have more smart plans, but maybe you don't want to create one from the ground up, maybe you need an example, you want to take a look at what other agents are using and what's working for them, you guys can come in here and actually add this smart plan. It will add it right to your team or personal plans. Make sure you're under the right profile. And then you can go ahead and edit it accordingly. You guys can tweak it however you'd like. But this is just, again, a great tool to understand. It's here for you. It's a great way for you guys to make sure that you're getting those touches in, that you're nurturing your database, and that you're getting your contacts essentially just contacted on a regular basis. And these are something that you add them to and you never look back. So it's helpful. Yes, you can essentially make edits to smart plans and you can customize them. So if you guys already have a smart plan set up, I'm going to go back to the ones that we already have. Oh, give it a second to load. If you guys already have a smart plan set up, for example, she has the open house follow-up set up. If you guys already have one, in order to edit that, you would just click on the little pencil. And again, this is the same for smart plans and your team or your personal. If you guys just locate the smart plan, you would just click on the pencil and it will allow you guys to come in here. You guys can adjust the text for texting. You guys can tweak emails that are going out, update tasks. You guys can add in additional stuff, remove stuff. So yeah, these are completely customizable. We do have an entire class that's just on smart plans, how to make them, create them, edit them, and launch them. I will make sure that I get that out to everybody who dropped their email in here as well. Anybody watching the recording, I'll make sure that smart plans are also added to the notes that I add to the bottom of this video. I'll just add our most recent smart plans class just so you guys have them. But yeah, we go over all of that as well. Go back here. All right, last but not least, I just want to touch upon opportunities for teams because this is a little bit different for you guys. For opportunities, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on the handshake icon. And again, if you guys ever question which tab it is, I can't remember if I mentioned this, but if you guys click on the white KW with the red square, it will actually show you guys what the titles are, just in case. I'm going to go ahead and click on opportunities. For this specific section, if you guys are functioning under a team and you're in a situation where you're running all of your business through that team, you'll want to make sure that the second you come into the opportunity section that you're selecting your team, just to make sure there's no issues. By default, it should automatically drop you on the team profile. If it doesn't, just make sure that you select it once you're in here again, just to make sure that you're looking at the correct platform and that you're looking at the teams. Connie is set up as a Rainmaker, so she does have a personal platform as well. But a lot of agents that are set up and they're running that business through the team, they really should only see a team name. So that should help with a little bit of the issues with locating the correct opportunities. Okay, so one of the biggest changes that has happened with the team update is with opportunities. The first thing being, in order to create that opportunity under the team platform, that contact needs to be moved to the team profile. That's being one of the most important things that we've seen. The second thing is previously, if John Smith is on a team and John Smith creates an opportunity, automatically it's showing up on his pipeline under that team profile. So in other words, as long as he's on Yates and Maxwell, he's seeing that opportunity populating here. That is no longer the case. So in order for someone to actually remain having access to their opportunity, they need to be manually added to that opportunity. And I'm going to go through that entire process with you right now. I just want to make sure you guys understand what we're doing beforehand. So again, I'm just on my opportunities tab. And what I'm going to do is actually just create a dummy opportunity to show you guys what needs to be done. So when I click on my create opportunity, the first thing that comes up is my market center. If you guys are with multiple market centers, always make sure you're selecting the correct one. If you guys are only with one, you're golden. It will auto select every time. For the team, if you guys are on a team, it should auto select. But again, if you guys are with multiple teams, or you're in a situation where you do have that allowance to create opportunities outside of the team, make sure that you're selecting that if it does need to go through the team platform. Opportunity type, I'm just going to leave it as listing. Owner will always be the Rainmaker. So when you guys are creating a team opportunity, the owner will always be the Rainmaker. We do get questions about that regularly. That's completely normal. All it's letting you know is that you're creating this opportunity under the team platform. So right when that team is selected, owner is always going to be the Rainmaker. Underneath that, we have clients. I'm going to go ahead and type in my name because I know I'm in the team database. So if you guys, again, if you guys are typing in a name here, you're looking for a contact, it's not populating for you. There's a very high chance it's because it's in your personal database and it hasn't been moved over to the team database yet. So make sure before you guys come into the opportunity section that you guys are able to go back into contacts and select that team profile and locate that contact profile. If you can't do that, it means that you're not going to be able to find them right here on the drop-down list. Once I've selected my contact, it automatically gives it a name. I'm just going to put team class beforehand so I can find this. But you guys can name it listing, whatever you guys want. With the new team updates, one thing that I have been recommending, and again, this is just a recommendation, you by all means do not have to do this, but for the opportunity name, when you guys are adding them to the team platform, maybe do like dash your initials, whoever's creating it, or like if there's only a couple of you guys, put your first name, whatever it may be. Because again, unless you're manually adding yourself to these opportunities as assignees right here, you actually lose access to this opportunity. So you want to make sure that if for some reason, say you forget to actually add yourself, if you get into the habit to at least initial your opportunity names, your Rainmaker can then go in and say, hey, I saw this one had your initials on it, so I automatically just added you, because only the Rainmaker will have access to correct this for you. Underneath that, we have custom tags, which you guys can use, don't have to use, whatever you guys want. You guys can also add yourself as a custom tag if you'd want, whatever works best for you guys. Estimated close date, I'm going to leave that blank just for the sake of this. Listing price, I'm going to leave blank. Commission, I'm just going to put 3%. And then opportunity phase, I have it set as cultivate. Opportunity stages, meet acquaintance, and then assignees. As of right now, the only assignee set up is Connie. Connie is also the Rainmaker, so she's kind of, she would have access to this no matter what. But what I'm going to do, go ahead and I'm actually going to add Leah because I'm logged into Leah's account in the background. So once I add Leah as an assignee, what this means is this is now going to show up on Leah's timeline or pipeline as well. So in other words, if you are a transaction coordinator and you're creating these opportunities for agents, if you have your own command login, you can actually create opportunities now under your own command login instead of jumping around and logging in under these agents, which is pretty cool. So you do have access for that. The one thing that you guys do need to make sure, and again, we got this question earlier, is why agents are having trouble locating their opportunities. This is why. So if I were creating this for Leah, and even if I'm logged in as Leah, unless I'm making sure that Leah is added as an assignee, she will not have access to this opportunity on her pipeline. So you want to make sure that it's showing with her name populating here. Once I've got that added, I'm just going to go ahead and click on create. This pulls up my details, allows me to see everything. All that's populating. And what I'm going to do now, just so you guys can see how this shows up, is I'm just going to pull up Leah's account really quick and pull up opportunities. And we did listings and cultivate. And here's the opportunity that I just added. So it's in real time, populates pretty much immediately, which again is great. There's no turnaround time. You guys aren't waiting 24 hours. It will automatically show up in that other person's account. But what I want to show you guys now, which again, this is something that teams will have access to utilize, is going to be the discussions. and how to essentially set up tasks and updates and things like that on these opportunities. This is going to be fantastic for people who are especially using like a transaction coordinator, or if you guys have an administrator on your team that is handling a lot of your documents. They're, making sure that your opportunities are moving through that pipeline properly. They have all their information. This is fantastic for those people. It's a way for them to keep in touch with you in regards to this opportunity without having to call you or send you a text or an email for every single question they may have. So from here, Leah comes in here, she sees this opportunity. She can actually come up here and she can click on these are like your tasks, your checklists for teams. Once she clicks on this icon, it allows her to see all of the tasks that need to be done. She can assign herself. Connie can also assign her, and it will populate all right here. Anytime something is assigned, you will get a notification. Again, very cool. And it populates right in the bell, top right-hand corner. But my recommendation is if you guys haven't yet started using these, start playing around with them. Create a test opportunity. Add a couple of your agents onto it. Start assigning tasks to them. That way you guys can get comfortable with this platform and you're not trying out a new feature when you're actually trying to get a platform closed out or an opportunity closed out. But once you guys come in here, you'll see we have assign. She can go ahead and assign this to herself. If she does not set a due date, it will not assign it. So that's something to keep in mind. So in other words, if she assigns herself to get contact phone number, whatever it may be, she can go ahead and close it. And now when she comes back in here, it's still here for her. And it's going to actually prompt her. It's going to show up as a task. And she'll have access to go ahead and complete it later on once she's actually come in here and completed it. And she can just click on the little check mark to complete it. But this is a great way for you guys to, again, just keep things organized. And I'm going to show you guys how to edit these as well. These are ones that they've custom added. I'll show you guys how to edit them and make sure that they're essentially updated. But you'll notice, because this is another question that we do get regularly, when you guys are in here, meet, acquaintance, cultivate is the first part of that pipeline. If you guys are creating tasks based on the pipeline, you can actually toggle through and it will show you guys the tasks based on what status that opportunity is in. So if for some reason that opportunity has moved over, maybe it's no longer in cultivate, maybe you guys are already showing the property, it's moved along. If you guys are not seeing any tasks in here under showing active, you guys can toggle back and forth. It won't mess with the opportunity at all. It will just show you guys all of the tasks that are set up based on that status. So it allows you guys to get very specific if you'd like, which is great. So if you guys have specific things that you need done when it's under scheduling appointments, appointment kept, staging, photography, maybe you need to contact your photographer, get them emailed over to you, whatever it may be, you guys can actually set up very specific tasks for each category that this opportunity would be under. So I'm going to X out of that really quick. And then I just want to show you guys, I'm going to go back and I'll show you guys how to make edits to those, but I want to show you guys the discussion. So again, I'm on a specific opportunity. I'm actually on the same opportunity under both of the command accounts that I'm logged into. I can go ahead and click on discussion and then create discussion. And think of this as kind of like an instant messenger between you and whoever else you want to talk to on the team. So right here, I can say, received. Op received, what date is it? 12/21, contacting client today. Nice and simple. And then I can do at Connie, and it will actually notify Connie, and I can send it. And it literally just starts that conversation. Connie can then go ahead and she can like it. Once she gets it, she can reply back. She can pin it if there's specific information she needs. This is fantastic for your transaction coordinators. So this is very similar. If you guys were with Keller Williams with Dot Loop, this is a way for you guys to actually communicate with other people who might be on this opportunity And it allows you guys to not only keep it with that opportunity, but it allows you guys to keep track of everything. These aren't going to go away. These are going to sit here on this opportunity. So if you guys are working on it, maybe it's a listing, maybe it's a buyer that's, you know, taking a little bit longer, you guys can actually post notes in here, not only for yourself, but again, it's for your team. So again, this is just a great tracking, a way to track those. I'm going to go ahead and pull up Connie's account and just refresh it really quick. Perfect. And you'll see now it's populating, and here's her message to Connie. So it pulls over in real time. The longest I've seen is sometimes it takes 5 minutes, so I wouldn't panic, but it should pull over relatively quickly. As far as notifications, it will also show up as a notification, which is great. New mention, and this is the name of my opportunity, team class, Brittanie, SLM, listing, BD. But it lets you know, it gives you kind of like a brief description. You can also go ahead and click on it once you guys get that notification, and it will pull up the exact opportunity and the notice. So it's now notifying you guys in real time. Again, just another tool I want to make sure you guys realize as teams that you guys have access to. If you guys are looking to edit anything else for client updates, you guys can come in here. You guys can set client updates, which again is just helpful. You guys can come in here and automate them, send daily progress emails for this opportunity where it actually goes out to your client. This is something everybody has access to, but I don't think a lot of people know it exists. So you guys also have access to send out updates to your client, whether you guys do daily or whatever it may be. Another tool that's available for you guys. But last but not least, I just want to show you how to actually make edits to those checklists. So let me go back. I'll do the same one. If I pull up Cultivate, pull up any random section, if you guys are in appointment active, it's completely fine. But you'll notice anytime you're in one of these, so if I'm out on regular opportunities, I don't have access to it. I just need to click on a specific section, and all of a sudden Edit Stages populates. Edit Stages is where you guys can actually set up those tasks that can be assigned to your team members. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I'll give it a second to load. And you'll see here, it essentially just gives us the order in which they need to be done. It allows me to pull up the checklist, breaks that down. This is exactly what we were just in, but this is where you guys can actually make edits to what's going to show up on that checklist. So if you guys have an idea of what you're looking to do, you would just, again, pull up your opportunity pipeline. I'm under appointments right now, and I can categorize these out. So depending on what the stage is, so scheduling, scheduled, or kept, you may have different things that you want to populate on that checklist, and you guys can actually customize them accordingly. Again, just another tool you guys have access to. This is something that agents will have access to in their personal accounts, but the team accounts, you can actually assign your teammates. So this is great. Again, transaction coordinators, rainmakers, you guys have access to now delegate out this information and make sure that these opportunities are being updated accordingly. Great manual way to make sure that's being done. And keep in mind, anytime that you guys do have like a task assigned to you or anything along those lines, a discussion, you will get a notification letting you know. So that's a great way to track those as well. That's pretty much it. The last thing I want to touch upon, I just want to show you guys command mail really quick, specifically for teams, because this was a question that came up. But outside of that, that's pretty much everything. And again, I have all of my notes from today's class. I want to say it's almost about 7 pages with like screenshots, breakdowns on everything. So some of the things that I didn't go quite as in depth with, we still have notes, we have articles, we have tip videos that kind of break this down a little bit further. Teams have access to a ton of information. So I apologize if I skipped anything specific that you guys did have a question on. If you guys do have questions in the future, you can always shoot us an email as well, especially if you guys are watching the recording. Feel free to shoot an email over to support@scottleroymarketing.com and just let us know what you're seeing that looks a little bit funny, and we can take a look at it for you. But I do want to show you guys command mail really quick just to make sure that it's set up. So in order to access that, we're just going to click on our name, and then we're going to click on settings. Once this pops up, we're just going to scroll down a little bit, and you guys are going to see a section right underneath email services that says command mail. So someone had asked in the questions earlier, how do you guys change like the smart plans, who they're coming from, whatever it may be? Command mail is how you guys update the email address that those smart plans come from. So in other words, if your Rainmaker has smart plans designated to the contact assignee, if the contact assignee is John Smith on your team, John Smith needs to have his command mail set up. They also need to have their Twilio set up in order for that smart plan to run flawlessly. We have a tip video on how to set up Twilio. It's in the notes that I'll be emailing over. But in regards to command mail, in order to confirm that that's set up, if you guys just click on manage, you'll see right here, it has the name and it has an email selected. If save changes is not clickable, you're good to go. It means you're already set up. If this isn't the right email, maybe you want to use a different email, you'll notice when I change it, now save changes is clickable. That means you just need to save it. If you guys maybe go by a nickname, or Connie wants to go by Connie Yates - Yates and Maxwell Properties, you guys can update the name as well. All that means when you guys send an email, rather than it just saying Connie Yates, you know how it has like your name and then the email address is right underneath. It's going to have your name with Connie Yates, Connie and Maxwell Properties, or Yates and Maxwell Properties with it. So that's, you're just updating it aesthetically. But you guys can update the sender name, reply to email address. You guys can update that accordingly. Keep in mind, anytime you guys send out a smart plan, it is going to show up as that agent with like a funky number at kw.com. But when somebody replies to a smart plan or a campaign email that you send out, it's going to go into this inbox. So just keep that in mind. It will always show up, that sent email will always show up as like the agent, and then it's like numbers and at kw.com, it's specific to you. But once you actually reply to a smart plan or a campaign email, it will go to whatever email address you have set up here. So just keep that in mind. I know that was a question that came through. So as long as your teammates, team members have their command mail set up, have their Twilio set up, using that contact assignee for smart plan designated agents, it will allow them to actually use their own accounts for everything. So that's that silver lining for the contact assignee option. So that pretty much covers everything. Again, I will get this up on our channel later today. Anybody watching the recording, there will be, again, a hyperlinked link for notes, all of the class notes, screenshots, everything, breaks everything down a little bit further. It'll be right in the bio of this video. But as always, if you guys have questions, or if I went over something and yours doesn't look the same, or if it's just something that you guys are continuously having issues with and trying to figure out a workaround, just let us know. We're happy to take a look at your accounts, and we can see what the best route would be for you guys. And I appreciate you guys coming to class. I hope you guys have a good holiday.